Hello, everybody. Can you see me and hear me? All right, let's get started because I do not know how long until Gavin comes back. Up here. Will there be any way for a U.S. citizen to refuse digital ID and still be able to buy and sell goods and services? It's going to be difficult, if possible, difficult. Three of Wands is reversed, so there may be some kind of loophole, but it feels like the loopholes, they're going to even try and close the loopholes. So at first, there'll be loopholes that they try to then tighten. Why doesn't my mom want to attend holidays with the family at their home since my dad passed? Too difficult? It feels like there's a lot mentally that she hasn't unpacked yet, and being present there doesn't leave another option. It feels like it's a daily mental struggle that being there would like turn the volume all the way up on. Messages for Claire. This too shall pass. It feels like you're being tested again in a way that you previously were tested. And maybe you're feeling like it's because you pass or because you failed. It's not because you failed. It's you went in through one eye wall and now you're coming out the other eye wall of the storm. So this too shall pass. Message from my guides. Feels like there's a strategy that's not connecting or it's not landing. There's a need to kind of go back and look at all the pieces of a strategy. It feels like it has something to do with finances or stability, kind of like a back to the drawing board on some kind of idea that's not working or a change that's not working. Is my granddaughter seeing a spirit in my house, and who is it? The song that came on is Whisper by Kanan. I think it's like this kind of reads more like orbs than an individual spirit. So it could be like a group of spirits. It could be just like Four of Cups in reverse, some kind of lasting connection. Feels more like orb energy is kind of what I pick up on with that. Messages from your mom and a token. Where did I put that? Hold on. Trust your intuition. Reviewing last moments, trust your intuition. I feel like there's a worry you're being guided to put down. It's almost like from the other perspective, something went more quickly, where I feel like maybe you're perceiving something was more drug out on her end, where this is the message of, from my perspective, it was quicker. Message from Spirit, token, and a song. Timer. You've made space to rebuild, and it feels like you've taken time to integrate. Now it's time to start to get the building blocks and build something from the ground up, whether that's a new habit, a new idea, a new structure, new relationships. It's like the time is now to grab the bricks and start building. Message from Blueprint of Tarot. Do I have it here? Yeah, I do. Let's see. Eight of Pentacles. Within this card, the nervous system rehearses the pattern of dedication. It feels the quiet satisfaction of progress made slowly, the ache of mistakes that sharpen precision, the pulse of focus that steadies wandering thought. The body learns to translate persistence into strength, to endure frustration long enough to discover grace. This is the muscle memory of becoming, imprinted through countless small acts. I feel like it's telling you to keep going, something business related that feels frustrating. It's not that it's a no, it just may be to switch the approach. Is there anything that can help with my social anxiety this month? Taking time to reground with yourself, maybe pulling back a little bit socially and giving yourself maybe a break before the holidays. This is like temporarily disconnect, focus inward, and then take action towards. You'll feel more comfortable socially when you feel more comfortable in yourself. How do I reconnect with my sister and stepmom? The song just said, I Keep Dancing with the Devil I Know. It's by May Hill. It feels like it's not them that the disconnection is with. It's their shadows have disconnected them from themselves. So this is like encouraging or leading by example or coming up with a strategy that considers that their shadows are the one that's making the decision on how to connect right now, not their like true self. A message for the weekend and a token. It's a carrot on a string. You're in the hurdle because the test is problem solving. So if you don't have a problem to solve, you can't pass that particular test. So whatever it is right now, it's not a punishment. It's an opportunity to pass the test. It kind of feels like you feel like you're following the carrot on a string and you just can't get it. So it's probably a test of endurance. Just not giving up until the solution comes. What is Gracie's official diagnosis? Rheumatoid arthritis or lupus? Will she be okay? Arthritis. It feels like this is where the problem's coming from. Not that there's not some kind of mobility issue with this. And arthritis, I know, would be mobility related. So it's not that there's not mobility, but it feels like it's coming from this corner. This is like the battle that we can't just like ignore, coming from the lupus corner. Message about my Florida room. I just rent it for the winter. As in you rented it out or you're renting it? Because this is kind of like a potential unexpected expense associated with it in order to fix something or make something whole or better again. Messages for the weekend. The song keeps saying I had to do it the hard way. I had to do it the hard way by Cameron Whitcomb. It feels like that's what this is. You're doing something the hard way this weekend, but it can end up being satisfying if you look at it like that. Like if you know that a frustration may arise and there may need to be a strategy implemented because of it, you can allow yourself to kind of have fun with it. Will we have a good trip to San Diego? There may be certain pieces you miss out on, maybe because of delay of travel, or it does feel like this is delay of travel because I'm being drawn to the boat by the knee. It feels like there may be some travel delays, but not necessarily a bad trip, just maybe not being able to do everything. Update on my sister's cancer. Said they got it all. Oh, great. That's awesome. She still needs treatment, but there's no more lurking in her body. That's awesome. Yay. She still needs treatment, but there's, yeah, they got it all the pieces. I feel like now the struggle is going to be replacement. So like replacing the energy levels. I feel like there may be slowness in getting that back. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like that's like an expected thing almost. Like either energy levels or whatever other kind of levels would need to be leveled out. If that takes a little longer, that's not a sign of something going wrong, is what that means. Will I sell my home soon for the price I want? I feel like you're going to have the opportunity to sell it for maybe not as much as you want, but it may still be in your zone. Or maybe you can hold out and get a different buyer. I feel like you're going to have the opportunity soon, but it may not be for the full price with 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Let me go. This list. Welcome back. Turn that off. All human behavior is either love or a call for love. I feel like that's a call to allow yourself to be in receive mode. Is my app idea going to be a successful one? I feel like as it stands right now, it's not going to be lucrative to be not sustainable for the amount of energy it's going to take. So there's something off in the amount of money that you're going to be bringing in for it. Or like if it's not money, then it's like whatever it's meant to be building. It's like there's something off there. So I think it needs to be reevaluated. Judgment in reverse, it's like misjudging the amount of work, misjudging the reach, something along those lines. So it's not that it's a no, it just needs to be relooked at in some areas. Will the survey on my new house show anything majorly wrong or anything that will cause delays? I feel like it's something that if there's anything that looks like a quick fix, just kind of throw money at it really quick and get out of it. There is something that's going to need to be paid for and handled, but it feels like it doesn't cause an issue. Should I switch my dog to a prescription diet or keep him on the one he's currently on? Prescription. Currently on. I feel like peace of mind for you is worth the added cost. Because you know that you're paying for longevity, I guess you could say. 1, 2, 3 on the clock, as I said that. I feel like even though it may be a little bit more expensive to have wands flipped out, I feel like it's worth it for some reason in this particular case for the prescription diet. Message from my spirit team with wound card. If the World Burns Down is the song playing by Casey Musgraves. Invisible thread. Deep connections felt but unspoken. I feel like this is translating as a loneliness wound. Loss of hope in a deep connection. I feel like the deep connection you're seeking needs to be established with yourself again on a deeper level before it's opened up to others. I feel like that's what you're seeking, but the hold is in giving it to yourself first. Thank you. Let me see if you put a let me see if I see your name real quick. I do not. Okay. Let's see what you need to know. Most pressing for you to know. Making decisions right now from a place of being flexible with the outcome. It feels like you're completing almost like an obstacle course of going with the flow and not holding on too tightly to how you expect the outcome to look. Yeah. It feels like if you can maintain that mindset, there's a victory at the end of this chapter. Will my target keep me after my seasonal promotion ends? I feel like they may have opportunities for some people to stay on for like another round of something. I don't think it's going to be everyone though. It looks like it's likely this would be open to you with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's kind of like an I owe you or like a you earned your spot on this crew. I feel like yes, but not like a permanent spot though, if that makes sense. Any fun, positive things before the end of this year? Releasing something that didn't work out the way you expected. It feels like the fun, positive thing is that you're releasing the impact that had on you in a negative way. So it's not necessarily something coming in, but it's something that you no longer have to carry. I'm going to do one more and then back to the other list. I'm renting it from a Facebook Marketplace listing on a monthly basis and taking my cat with me. I don't know if there was another part of this. Hold on. I don't see it. Okay, let's see. What do we need to know about this? Kind of feels like this is a temporary thing. I mean, obviously on a monthly basis. It feels like this is something that may be more short-lived than you initially expect. Like it serves its purpose quicker than the time you expect it to allot to it. All right. What does Spirit have for me today? The only way out is through. There's something that keeps persistently coming to the surface, and it feels like you busy yourself away from it. Feels like it's going to keep popping up until you allow yourself to sit with it and feel your way out of it. Is the person I've been communicating with on X really who they say they are? I would say yeah. Yeah, that's an accurate representation and no ill intended. I would say yeah. Why is Scott the Virgo coming around? Test access. Can I still get in or not? What information can I still gather? Or like what's my access point? What can I know? Will I get a corporate job this month or next month? I do think you get one, but I don't think it's this month or next month. This kind of feels like the Fool, like fresh in the beginning of the new year. Had a mammogram yesterday and the report came back as needing additional screenings and tests due to breast tissue. Do I have anything to be concerned about? I feel like it's something that right now they're going to classify as needing to keep an eye on it. Like, we'll check this now. We're good for now, but we want to check back in 6 months or something like that. I feel like right now you're going to be essentially in the clear with like a maybe a preventative plan or something like that, or like a checkup plan. Will Emma speak to me anytime soon? Eventually, yes. Soon, not as soon as you'd like. And I think that's because of something that she's going through on her end, not necessarily because of like a you thing. Why do people try to go to battle with me? Your light. Projecting things onto your light, seeing what sticks. I mean, light, and this is like not hidden, but above ground. So light triggers people's shadows. Will Carl's medical issues be resolved? I feel like it's going to be a multi-step process, more so than just simply being something that's like resolved or not. This is like something that we go into some kind of plan with. I think it's a series of manageableness and then like periods of struggle. Manageableness and then struggle is kind of what that looks like. The light went out. Message from my daughter to her daughter and a song. From my daughter to her daughter. What I want you to remember about me is that I'm still with you, just in a different way. It's kind of giving that, like, don't always be so serious. Allow things to kind of flow in a direction that you don't have to control the fun and you can just allow yourself to be. Dance with My Father by Luther Vandross, and A Road Trip is on the back. Message from my spirit guides. I need to identify which burdens you're carrying that are not yours. It feels like they're causing a lot more drain than you're giving them credit for. Message from my brother, Angelo. This is the time of the year you feel me the strongest. I know that says summer, but I'm thinking he's meaning now. Yes, truth. This is the time of the year you feel me the strongest. Don't make that cause you to shut your emotions off. Allow that to be a good thing. There's something that those emotions are teaching you. Take It Easy by the Eagles. Message from my guides. Whatever recently felt like emotional betrayal was a lesson in standing your ground. And it also was supposed to kind of push you to feel your emotions and not always be so strong all the time. Did Trump's recent trip to Asia have anything to do with Yu Minlong? Was a copy of his unaliving sold on the dark web really given to the FBI? So did that trip have anything to do with that person? Covering something? Yeah, covering something. Was a copy of his unaliving sold on the dark web really given to the FBI? Doesn't feel like it needed to be given to them. I'm going to leave it at that. Will I experience a Kundalini experience as I move further into the new energies? I don't think that's the part of the journey you're at right now. It feels like now you're in the energy of grounding into where you are and then building from the ground up, as opposed to you. It feels like you've done part of that experience and now it's the part of the integration process with Two of Pentacles reversed. What message do I need to receive from my higher self? Linda, when you're ready for your prize readings, you can fill out the thing on my website. I keep meaning to email you and I forgot. It feels like an option that wasn't meant to be a first option, but ended up as a front runner is like filtering out so that the right option can take the lead. So trust whatever's being like musical chairs in terms of options right now moved around. Message from my guides. You're right, but you need to let it play out is the message. You're right, and there'll be proof that you're right, but you need to let it play out is the message. Anything on incoming new love? Incoming new love. Not immediately. I feel like right now there's like a holding period. An expectation of what love is meant to be is being reshaped somehow in your environment. What is going on with me with all the disconnection from many of my family members? Feels like you just see things in a very different way. And it's made kind of this wallflower situation. And you're kind of in the position like, do I want to pretend to not see it the way I see it? Or do I want to have like a false acceptance? I feel like you're waiting for them to come around so you don't have to settle for a false acceptance. Should I get married? I would be remarried to this person, actually. Should I get married? Would you be happy if things ended up the same way they did the first time? Because this is a lack of change because of not really knowing how. So I feel like that's the answer to your question. Will Luke go through a spiritual awakening when we move, or will he find himself somehow? I feel like he may get lost in distractions for a little bit. It's kind of giving shiny object syndrome as I avoid my path before I run into some inevitable like wall where I address it then. So I feel like there may be a period of distraction before that. Message from my guides on if my hubby and I should separate. Thank you. Should you separate? I feel like the answer that I'm being given to this is you now have proof that things aren't changing based off of actions taken that should have made things mature, but actually made things go in the opposite direction. So it's like you can see the trajectory of where it's going. So needing to base your answer off of, if it keeps going in that trajectory, am I okay with that? My sister GGK is sick, but she doesn't want to go to the doc. Can she recover at home with homeopathics and nutrition? I feel like the symptoms are what is being treated, not the root. In order to get to the root, it feels like needing to get some kind of doctor intervention. Because this is like, on the surface, yeah, it looks, but internally, no. I feel like it may be a bit of kind of putting things on hold, but they eventually kick in. So I think doctor may be needed with that star in reverse. Can you give me insight on the next move this week? Kind of feels like trial and error, figuring out what doesn't feel right or what doesn't look right. So I guess I'd say a need for flexibility, because if it's trial and error, it means that you're not going to get it right on the first go every time. So being flexible with your approach. Message from Blueprint of Tarot and a song. The Pretender by Lewis Capaldi. Within this, the Five of Pentacles. Within this card, the nervous system rehearses survival under strain. Oh, so the Pretender. So you're being tested with a lack energy right now to see how you handle it. It learns the shape of fear when resources feel thin, when the body trembles, when the memory of not enough. The lessons of endurance etch themselves here, reminding you of both your fragility and your resilience. So whatever finance or stability or grounding test right now is one of endurance. So just don't give up. Keep trying till you find the solution. Message from mom or dad. Number 7. Mom. You will find your strength in recognizing how much you've already overcome. She knows it's hard right now, especially something that you recently heard or found out. But she gave you some kind of sign she was there with you for it. Oh, Never Alone by Jim Brickman and Lady A. I think the message is I was there with you for that, and some comfort to be found in that. What's going on with my mom is that more than just her hearing, she can't remember simple stuff. She's 89. Looks like some kind of decline in cognition. King of Wands reverse memory. Memory connected to cognition. So it could be something where there's starting to be like a timeline interference, like not really being able to place how long ago certain things were, is kind of how that feels. Any messages from my friend Colby that passed? A lot of 7s today. You have more power than you realize when it comes to embracing the lessons, not just the loss. I feel like this is not in reference to Colby, though. This is like something that didn't work out the way you expected it to. Colby highlighting the lesson in that. it taught you something about pattern recognition or problem solving. You Will Find Me by Alex and Sierra. When will the government shutdown end? An intentional debt of fear. I don't think it's coming back in the same way. And I don't think anything's happening quickly, and I think that's on purpose. I think something needed to be taken out quickly so something could be quickly implemented, and now it's a series of distractions. Am I interpreting my tarot cards correctly? Yes. Yes, interpreting correctly, you may be upping the intensity on the meaning you should be giving to something, though, if anything. But yes, interpreting correctly. Message with token. No. And the O is a spiral. Sometimes no is a full sentence, and if you have to explain your boundaries to someone, or if you have to feel like you should, if someone makes you feel like you should be justifying your boundaries to them, they're probably the reason that those boundaries are in place. So don't question yourself. Next steps for my Etsy shop. Connecting offers where buy two get discount or something like that, doing different sales like that, finding a way to bring one client or customer into two. So maybe like coupons or buy one, get one free of like digital things or something like that. Just needing to expand on what you already have so far feels like the next step besides anything grand, or instead of anything grand. I feel my mom is forgetting a lot and I'm worried about her health. Am I right to worry? I would say this does feel like a bit of a decline. It kind of feels like things are getting harder to remember, so I'm not trying to remember as hard, and that's kind of what you're picking up on, is like that difference in like getting frustrated with trying type of thing from her perspective. So I would say it kind of feels like the health hasn't necessarily declined, but her tolerance to dealing with it has. Does that make sense? New member, thank you. If you're serious about growth, you must be serious about accountability. If you're serious about abundance, also be serious about gratitude. Needing to get into a mode where every time you receive, you're not replacing it with giving, and you're just allowing yourself to receive. I'm at a pivot, fork in the road. Which way will it go? There's your fork in the road. You're going the path that feels most different from what you were doing before. The one that feels more out of your comfort zone is the one to follow. And it feels like when you approach this, there is going to be two very clear paths. Like it's going to be down to two. One's going to feel more familiar. One's going to feel more out of comfort zone. And that's the one. Which big game is next? And beach. Which big game is next? So what big, which big change? I thought it was a game. I don't know why I read that as game. Okay, let me reshuffle this because I read that as what big game. I think because I saw the football player. What big change is next? It's like the pieces of something coming together because you didn't rush into a solution and you allowed the solution to come to you. So whatever you've been working on kind of calling into you seems to be getting closer. Beach, as in going to the beach. I don't think right now with this, but it's possible with the King of Cups, just maybe a little bit outside of your proposed time zone or time frame. Message about DM and his take on me and what's to come. I feel like this person's trying to figure out your read on them. Like they don't know what to think or how to feel because they can't read you. And it's like that's kind of putting them in a holding phase. So it feels like the ball's kind of in your court here. Or they may even pull back a little bit and see if you kind of fill the space. I'm wondering if they felt a little bit emotionally challenged, like seen a little bit too much. Any new money coming soon? Message from guides. Not as soon as you would like with the money coming soon. Feels like needing to do something a little bit differently. Maybe there's a skill set that you have that you could be using to make money. Maybe there is someone you could be talking to get your foot in a different door. It just feels like there's action needed on your part to call in that money. So like it's possible, but not on the way yet. I'm not tapping into my spiritual gifts and energy like I want. What advice do my guides have for me? Slow down. Go back to the stage of writing down signs and clues and just going back to rediscovering how your guides and your higher self is communicating with you. It feels like it's maybe expecting more of control over something that needs to be more flow. Who or was Geo Jun Chen actor sacrificed during the last full moon? Was his body added to the 798 exhibit? Was this person sacrificed? Grief, release, and completion of a cycle or a ritual. So it's not a no. That's a possibility with those cards. Was his body added to the 798 exhibition? If it's going to be, it wasn't yet. Hanged Man is something, though, to come out there. Was the exhibit second layer of skin? No. But maybe that's a no because I don't really know what that would mean. But there's that this is kind of giving wrong question to ask, if that makes sense. Something I need to know. Giving that quote, most people give up before they realize how close they are to success in something. It feels like there's a challenge and then a victory, but you need to not give up through the challenge part of it. Why is admin covering so much for BP? It's I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. Each side's getting something out of it, and each side's not getting something exposed out of it. So it's like I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine type of thing. How is my friend Yoko? I haven't heard from her in years. Kind of feels like at a crossroads or a pivot point. Like I'm realizing that I want more. I'm not sure what more is, and now I'm trying to figure out which direction more could be. It's kind of the feeling I get with that. Is the SNAP benefits fiasco a test run to gauge public response, and is it related to the eventual implementation of digital ID? That's part of it. Yeah, that's part of the data points being collected is the response. Specifically speed of response, like how long since this happening does it take for this to happen type of thing. Or how long since this happening does it take for them to ask for this or demand this or this type of thing. Related to eventual implementation of digital ID. Yes, trying to give no choice. What's the important thing for me to know right now? What's the important thing for me to know right now? There's still a little bit more of a season of a push. You're not into the rest period yet. It feels like you're tired towards the top of the mountain, but there's still more to go. So finding a strategy that doesn't exhaust you, but allows you to keep going. Does Dad have any words of wisdom for me? There he is. It's easier to decide what to do when you can see the whole puzzle in front of you. So approach the situation as if they're all puzzle pieces and try to observe them in a way that shows how they best fit together. Will I reap success making a personalized meditation to accept light codes from 3D? Oh, I forgot to look up what that is. That's the spaceship, right? Or another modality work better? I think another modality would work better. This looks like that just not taking off in the way you would hope. Not necessarily the meditation, but maybe like the spreading of it. Maybe there's too much other distractions about this topic that it would get buried in, if that makes sense. Will my husband's work trip this coming week be successful for him and his job? Anything he can do to impress the higher ups from his company? I would kind of just like go about it regular. Like it kind of feels like maybe that's what they're looking for, not someone who's trying to use it to like not show off, but like someone who can maintain calm, cool, collected in a different type of situation. It doesn't feel like anything goes wrong, but there may be problem solving opportunities that seem small but make a big impact. That's my higher self. If the understanding I'm downloading taking me in the right direction for my journey goal. I feel like there's a need for flexibility. The understanding I'm downloading. So allow yourself to not come to a conclusion until it just naturally reaches that stage. Like when you get another piece, don't say, okay, now that's it, that's done, I have the full understanding. It feels like this is coming in layers, and there's more layers than expected. So you'll know when it's the conclusion, but don't force the conclusion of like the understanding. Any romance in the near future? Any romance in the near future? I feel like there's a friendship that will have the opportunity to bud into more, but not if it's rushed. If it is allowed to mature naturally. So it may be that it's a friendship for longer than you'd like, but you see the potential. But maybe not near future, near-ish. Hold on. There we go. Message from my higher self and a token. Holly. So between now and Christmas time, what? You're going from grief, rebalancing out through it. So transmuting grief into some kind of new chapter is how I want to word that. So it feels like your new chapter starts by the end of the year that you've been waiting for some time. Am I supposed to give my 2-month notice at my current shop I practice at? Is it possible it's too soon? Are you maybe jumping a little bit ahead? Do you have something else in place? I feel like you're jumping the gun a little bit doing it now. 5 to 7 weeks from now, what's it, November? It's the beginning of November, so 5 to 7 weeks would be like the end of the year. Could you wait a little bit? It feels like that's more feasible in some way, waiting a little bit. Message from my spirit team with a song and a token. The song is Depressed by Lauren Spencer Smith and Anne Marie. I feel like the message is, in order to bring in fresh energy, there's a need to change where your focus is. There's a need to disconnect from maybe others or the past or whatever it is. It's needing to focus on something that's buildable within you. Message from my guides. You made the right decision and you're about to start to see proof of that soon. This doesn't feel like a huge victory, like a windfall, but it feels like an emotional release of some kind. Like, okay, now I don't have to carry that anymore, which feels to be equivalent to like an emotional windfall. What's the next part of my journey? It's like you're rebuilding bridges or connections. This could be like job opportunity connections or friendships or relationships that bring value. But it feels like space has been made for these to come in. Is my forever person ready to enter my life yet? I feel like they're still going through a refinery process. They have this pentacle. Now they trust themselves. Now they need to take it through the fire of something not working so they can see that the pentacle still stays intact, aka their self-worth. So not yet. Was Monday's catfish someone I know or a stranger? Someone connected to someone. But I almost feel like they might not be aware of the connection. There's some kind of connection to someone in your circle, but it's not direct. Not in your circle, but like someone that has been in a social circle of you. Like a once removed connection, if that makes sense. What's the reason my unborn baby chose me to be his mom? Does he have any messages in a song? A calm birthing experience, a calm, grounded birthing experience. Acceptance in a way that doesn't feel, ironically enough, with King of Pentacles here, transactional. So like knowing what truly matters in life, I guess, like a connection. You and this baby would share the same what really matters in life type energy. One second. I see. No, I'm not taking enough time. I am not. Message about my home, please, and living out in the sticks. Messaging about my home. Home is where you make it. The Magician in reverse is like might not look like the ideal paradise for others, but it's exactly what your soul needs to like reconnect with yourself. How much longer will this custody and criminal and will have a good outcome for her? How much longer will this custody and criminal trial be? Nine of Pentacles kind of makes me feel like something getting a little bit drug out here because of things filed to block action. So there may be a little bit of push and pull in some way. Will we have a good outcome for her? I feel like something ends up being blocked. You might have to appeal something here. There might be an eventual appeal of something. Will Kirby go to jail? Praying he does. Will Kirby go to jail? I feel like there may be a plea agreement here or something. This is like, I realize I'm backed into a corner and I agree to their terms is kind of what that gives. So I don't know if that's avoiding jail or just like a shorter than it should be thing. Am I on the right track with my shadow work with lack and scarcity? You're still tracing them back to the root. So yeah, you're on the right track, but you're not done yet. The moon on the bottom. I feel like there's a need to also look at what programs or look further into what programs your psyche runs that were downloaded from those around you growing up. Not that you haven't looked into that, but maybe more. Well, Kirby, I did this one, but let's see more detail. So what did I say? So will it lead to some kind of plea? It's like he runs out of hope and scrambles and comes up with something that lessens the intensity of what it should have been, if that makes sense. So how do you end up feeling about the outcome? You don't have to be afraid of death. It's not an ending, just a transition. I feel like there's something that's been difficult for you since her death that is not like because of her death. Like it's just like the timing is aligned, and whatever it is, that's going to start passing soon. Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw, and A Cookout is being referenced. Will I be successful in the scholarship application I submitted this week? Yes. I feel like it's going to align you with some kind of opportunity. Yeah. Eight of Swords in reverse. It may put like if it's like you and another person, something in yours put you like a step ahead of whoever else is in line with you. What do I need to know right now? What do I need to focus on right now? Before figuring out what comes next, it's about figuring out what you don't want to come with you. It feels like there's a lot of things that you're still feeling responsible for that aren't meant to be in your realm of like responsibilities. So needing to figure out what needs to come off of your plate first before putting more on it. I've noticed more clients are booking in. Am I coming further out of spiritual incubation now? I feel like that isn't necessarily what's happening. Not that that isn't what's happening with spiritual incubation, but I feel like you took some kind of action or you did something differently, and that's what kind of made the bookings come in. It's like you're being more seen because of action that you took. Birthday message from my guardian angel. Rebirth of the mind. Rebirth of the belief system. What are you telling yourself is not possible? Because there's something that you keep having a spark of hope and then you're like, no, not possible. Or like shutting something down before it has time to like smolder. Is that what you say about a fire? Smolder makes fire bigger. When I contact the police about my neighbors, should I say that I know about how they are protected with the secret society they are part of? No. Do not say that. They're just going to flip that and use it against you. Yeah. They'll add that and use it to like steamroll you or like blow past you, just kind of ignore you. They'll use that as a reason to ignore you. Don't do that. Can you please tell me my 20-year-old son's court outcome and if it will affect his job? I kind of read this as getting off with like a slap on the wrist with the ace in reverse, especially because like see how it's like boom, boom, like by the end of it. So I feel like it's not the worst case scenario. And I don't really feel, even though Ace of Pentacles is here, like it's going to affect the job because it's coming before the end of this. So I feel like it ends up okay, not worst case scenario is how I want to word that. New to tarot. Am I interpreting it accurately? If not, what to change? I would say you're doing it from a very open-minded perspective, very free perspective. Advice would be give yourself more freedom to look at the actual images and incorporate what that makes you feel or think as well, and just keep building. So I feel like you're right where you need to be to get to where you want to go. Will my finances improve in the new year? Eventually, not like as soon as the new year hits, but I feel like you're going to have space to make different choices next year, and that's what will bring you into a better situation. So it doesn't just happen, it happens upon choices being made. Was I correct? My intuition was screaming at me that AG started working with my neighbors and what happened last Thursday. No, I don't think so. Something may appear to be a way that it's not. There may be like an unpurposeful, I don't know how to word that. Like an unintended, it looks a way it shouldn't, but this is no, not with the two aces in reverse. Will SH get a job soon? Not as soon as you'd like. Wondering if there's someone this person can talk to that they're not talking to yet that can help move things along. How can I best climb over or go around my current financial hurdle before the end of the year? In plain sight. Altered records. Getting very clear about where you're at right now seems to be step one. Arrest warrant in reverse. Feels like you may be manifesting worst case scenario. Access denied. Is there something you're not applying for because you feel like you would be denied? Whether it's like a relief of some sort or assistance of some sort or consolidation attempt of some sort where it takes an initial pressure off. Is TikTok the action that is bringing in the clients? Not necessarily, but maybe. It's just the way that you're getting more in flow with showing your personality or not overthinking the way you're being received. I think it's more of an energy rather than a platform. What is the energy of B and L's relationship? Comfort zone, or maybe even a bit of a trauma bond. Shared grief. Oh, driving too fast. Okay. So yeah, slap on the wrist would make sense then. I think slap on the wrist is the best way to say that. Do I continue on with the next part of the course in January, or should I go with the other one I'm interested in? No, I think you should stay with the other part. I think you should finish. Yeah, I think that you're going to end up regretting not finishing it. Today is the anniversary of my grandfather's passing. Any message from him? How I'm Feeling Now by Louis Capaldi. Would there be a reason that he'd be picking this specific time of day to remind you of it? Besides, not just the live, but like, I don't know, there's some specificity about how you just remembered that right now. Maybe something going on around you. It's almost like he's confirming his presence in the way that you just remembered this, if that makes sense. What type of career will my nephew Johnny be in? Bringing some kind of solution or calmness to a tense situation. Tense, unexpected, and then calmness. That can be like intelligence, that can be security, that can be like planning and strategizing. It's like there's a standstill and he brings motion of some kind. What type of work is Luke going to love? Problem solving, finding a break or an interrupt in a pattern. Could be finance with heavy pentacles, or just like heavy business strategy, problem solution, finding a product and finding a way to make it better could be another, like an inventive type energy. Message for the weekend and a token. You're about to have some kind of notion to do something different that you're not expecting, and you're supposed to follow it. It's leading somewhere else that you're not meant to expect where it leads to. It's like you've made space for something to, like, you have like a clear wall in your mind now where you can build a vision board. So you're going to be following these little notions and they're leading you to what you're going to end up putting on the vision board, because the vision board's not coming from you. It's coming from like the version of you that knows what you need next. So maybe take notes of what you're putting on this hypothetical vision board. Maybe make a real one if you want, but it feels like keeping track of the notions is important. Will my son's football team win tonight? I feel like it may be a close call, but yeah, more than likely, yes. They come back from being down or something like that, or it's very close at the end. Would my friend D ever want to reconnect? Maybe when things are more stable for them, I think yes, but I feel like right now it's not going to be equal give and take, and that may put more damage on it. So maybe I'd wait a little bit, but I feel like yes, eventually. What does Sean want me to focus on? It's like you're avoiding certain things because of the emotions associated with them. Whether that's certain changes, whether that's certain... It feels like changes, honestly. It feels like you're avoiding changes because of the emotions that are going to be stirred up, but there's a need to create change because you're getting stuck in the mundane of something. This is my mom's this month is my mom's birthday and anniversary. A message and a song. Back to December by Dan and Shay is playing. So I feel like she's referencing your birthday. You will always have a part of me in the way you love others. It's making me think of that one quote on my Faith Over Feelings deck. You speak to people from your soul and they respond to you from their human self, and that's what hurts. She wants you to go read that Love is Patient, Love is Kind poem, and that's what you're waiting for. Nothing less. I lived by OneRepublic. Will my youngest be successful with his business idea after graduation? I feel like there's a need to get back to the drawing board in something. Not that it can't be, but I feel like there's a hurdle that's going to be unavoidable to face with the idea as it stands right now, as it pertains to like getting it up and running or getting it publicized or something like that. Message from Sean. I feel like there's a need to find a way to give yourself some kind of mental rest. It's like the hamster wheel is squeaking and it needs some WD-40, but you can't put it on while you're still running on the hamster wheel. There's something that your mind needs to find a solution for, but it can only find a solution after it takes a step away from it and isn't so close to the big picture of it. Come on, mouse. There you go. What will happen if I tell DM to hang this weekend? They may have something else to do, or they may kind of leave this thing up in the air. Like, okay, maybe I'll let you know if I can or not. I kind of feel like the judgment kind of feels to throw them off guard. So maybe it's like very unexpected, or maybe it's like not matching the vibes, because Six of Swords in reverse is kind of like backing up a little bit from it. Is there a way to allow that person to make them think it's their idea? Will Jack try harder to get work when we move? Not unless pushed. Not pushed, but like enticed. It doesn't look like naturally unless something kind of pushes it there. It actually may take away a little bit of drive to do that. So maybe needing to reignite the spark to do it. Message for Nan from Uncle Dennis and a song. I almost feel like there's a woulda, coulda, shoulda that needs to be put down. Like this is like a misremembering of something. Like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Or the decision that was made wasn't a bad decision. It was the necessary decision. Miracle by Benjamin Steer is the song. Is my person coming in next year or 2027? I wouldn't say next year. I feel like next year you may have someone that you walk away from or someone that doesn't quite meet the mark, but it feels like it takes a little bit longer for something to mature than next year. Trying to see if there's anyone I didn't get at all. Should I buy my daughter a bunny for Christmas? I feel like it will go either really good or really bad. Bunnies are a lot of work. I wouldn't do it right now. I feel like this is an overcommitment. Maybe you don't have the time or the energy for it right now. Maybe a lot more of it will fall on you than you're expecting. But this is like it ends up being a mental strain and or financial strain that you kind of wish you didn't do. Is my granddaughter happy at home and does she miss coming here? I feel like she misses coming there. Yes, that would be this one. Happy at home, I fear, is this one. So maybe there's a little bit of a disconnection at home. I'm kind of reading this as a longing. It kind of feels like there's a bit of a longing there. Longing for more communication. I didn't see another message from you. So let's see what else you need to know. It's like you're getting ready to embark on a plan B journey where the first path didn't necessarily yield the results, but it was so you could get the skill set of what happens in defeat. Now you know how to handle that kind of defeat and you can rebuild. Rebuilding from a place of not expecting to be at that point, but it's where you needed to be. Let me see if you put a comment. Hold on. Ladybug. Ladybug. I don't see you. All right, see, what do you need to know? What do we need to know? You're trying to make some kind of decision, and the first step is deciding there's at least one that is a hard no right from the beginning. It feels like getting that out on the table is the first step to moving forward. It feels like there's something that's going to be pulling you back into a perspective of lack mindset. Whatever this decision is, do not make it out of the perspective of limited options that you made previous decisions off of that foundation of. Because that's the only way that this can fail. It feels like you're being led to the right of 3 decisions, and all you need to do is trust that stepping outside of your comfort zone is the way forward here. Where did I go on here? Hold on. Hold on. Am I right to think my neighbor's spell work backfired after one got ill? They wanted me to have a stroke. Am I right to think that the neighbor's spell work backfired? That could be the boomerang of it. There's nowhere for it to mature here, so it dies out and goes back. Page of Cups in reverse. It wasn't a match for what was in this cup, so it goes back. Could be that. All right, I think I'm caught up. All right, guys, I'm caught up. I'm going to hop off because Gavin's about to be back. I will be back to hopefully more regular content this upcoming week. I basically had to take this whole week off. So thank you for your patience. I'm still going to be catching up on the lives. I still owe you a bit, but I'm going to have to catch up on that slowly. That's all. Talk to you all soon. Thank you for being here.